Hello, I'm Kasey Rose, and this is Body School with Kasey Rose. Um, I want to talk about the difference between alignment and posture. So I get this all the time. So I'm a yoga teacher, I'm a movement teacher, right? And people will say, oh, I need to work on my posture. And they'll like do this around me, right? They're like, oh, good posture. And what this is, what good posture is interesting. It actually comes from, I think the whole history of it is a military thing, right? Good posture, stand up straight. And all that we do, the move that puts us in this good posture with our shoulders is retracting our shoulder blades. So just kind of jamming our shoulder blades together and back and lifting our ribs, popping our ribs out, which then overstretches our abdomen and compresses our lower back. And this also puts a lot of tension to jam our shoulder blades, to retract those shoulder blades in that way often puts a lot of tension. Often the shoulders come up by our ears quite a bit, and we add a lot of tension to our neck. So how do we undo that? Actually, I'm going to go right into versus alignment. So alignment, posture being something, an appearance, right? Something that we hold, like a position that we hold. Alignment is functional. So if I am talking about aligning my stance, aligning my shoulders, I'm talking about aligning them for function so that I can use them well. So we do this move. Try this with me. You can protract your shoulders, like kind of pull your shoulder blades away from one another, right? And then you can retract your shoulders and draw your shoulder blades together, right? So there's protraction and retraction. And it's pretty interesting. It's sometimes easier, I'm leaning against the door here, it's sometimes easier to put your hands against a wall or something and do this. And you can see, so my tendency, and I'm really aware of this, is to have my hands up pretty high, which then puts this, right, it adds this upward movement, which I don't really want to be like that, right? So I'm going to bring my shoulder, you hear that all the time if you go to yoga class or probably any exercise class. It's like, draw your shoulders away from your ears. So what we do is we jam them down, and then let's, with them kind of jammed down, let's just work and feel this move. I'm just going to give you guys a chance here to feel through this move a little bit and see if anything happens. For one thing, I know I show this to a lot of people and they're like, what do you mean? There's nothing happening. Maybe you just put your arms down and kind of do that move that you would do when you were trying to get good posture. Like, whoop, there's my good posture. Okay, so that is one move. What if we let's just explore the movements, the ways our shoulders can move. So what if we take our shoulders up by our ears and then draw them back and slide them down and forward. So just rolling through, I think of it, I'll try a different side. I think of it as a square in my head, right? Shoulder forward, up, back, down. And then how about the opposite way? So let's see, that was forward. How about back, down, forward, up, back, down, forward, up. And then with both shoulders. So we're just seeing, maybe we haven't done that with our shoulders a whole bunch. And then can you maybe make it a little bit more fluid? There's a little more circle action to it. And like you can see, maybe you can see with me, like I'm trying to use my elbows to do it. I don't want to use my elbows. I want to let my arms hang, and I want just my shoulders to do this movement. See how that feels for you. Okay, so getting back to talking about alignment, what we're doing with getting the function is I'm trying, you can see, I'm really guilty of this. You can see how I'm like rolled forward here, right? I'm rolled forward, my chest is kind of sunken in, and that's really my stance, and it puts my hands kind of hanging down in front of me, so that limits me. Like, I should be able to move and walk, but I can't because my arms are in here, so then I get this weird, like, kind of compensation stuff happening. We'll get into that probably in a different video, actually. So how do I get my shoulders back without jamming them? And it's a rotation, right? Can you see that? It's a external rotation of my shoulder. So I tend to be, all of us, like we're driving, we're typing, we're on our phones, like everything is closed up here. So this is short and weak. This back here is like long. I do this because it's like holding on to your shoulder, like, oh, I'm losing you here. And it's weak. And also I want to show you this move, that the protraction and retraction. Notice if I am like reached out and my shoulder blades are protracted, you can see all this engagement happening here. But when I jam my shoulder blades back in that retraction, it's really hard, for one thing, to keep them down. And it's also really hard to keep this engaged. Like there's all that, like why is this happening to me, right? And it's not just age, it's use pattern. So what if I keep that engaged, but open, right? Lengthen across here. So just try that out. See if it's this move of rotating your humerus, your humeri, in your rotator cuff, in that glenohumeral joint, right? And so I'm rotating it and I'm putting it in place so that you can feel like if you do that a bunch, if you spin this, your whole arm, and it's really just spinning the humerus up in that rotator cuff, right? It's spinning your whole arm. And what if you hold it open? Can you feel that action back here? Right? We're turning these muscles back on. We're turning those muscles that have just been kind of like I said, like this claw, like hanging onto the arm, like, please, I'm trying here. And these guys are getting all pinched and kind of hot, and a lot of surgeries. Okay, so it's a rotation. You're rotating it open. That is alignment, folks. So posture is jamming and like this position that we have to hold. Alignment is finding the places that our body can move. And so then you get there, and then look at my arms. They're still kind of in this weird position because I'm so tight, right? I need this work as much or more than most of us. And then you can see how my hands and forearms are hanging out from my body, and that's just tension. So we will deal with that in another video. All right, you guys. I wish you all well.